Hello everyone, we're back with some new stuff and some more testing. So first of all, let's tell you about my favorite racing quad to this day has been my little, I call it the Baby Punk. And it's basically an analog. Well, you can watch the Baby Punk video to see what the setup is. I think I go through the parts and whatever in there. But this thing flies really nice and smoothly. But I got some HDZero Meteor 75s. I got 3 of them because they were like a crazy deal on Boxing Day, Black Friday. And I modified it and took it from this 35 gram drone and turned it into this. This is my HDZero, HDZ Punk. I'm keeping the punk theme going on. I like the pink and the little mohawk thing, and that little mohawk actually protects the camera. There's still a little bit of, there's like, if it was to smack here, that wouldn't be that good, so I'm going to redesign the canopy a bit to add a little bit more protection here and here. But this is only 29 grams, so we saved 5 grams, and it flies really great. I really like it. If you want to see kind of how I built the whole thing, I did it all on live stream over like a course of 3 hours. So I'll link that at the end of this video. And right now what we're going to do is we're going to test the new Beta FPV batteries, the Lavas. They have a higher C rating, and I'm excited to see how much better they are. So we're going to fly a 450 Beta FPV, then a 450 Lava. And this might be a little bit unfair because these are a little bit used and abused and whatever. And then we'll do a 300 Beta FPV and a 300 Lava. And I'm really hoping that these 300s can get me like 2 minutes. If they can, then we can get through a race with them, because I prefer racing on the 300s than the 450s. It just feels so much better on the 300s, like we just, especially with all the extra HDZero weight, but it feels amazing compared to the stock settings. The big question is like, how durable is it going to be? So I'm thinking I'm just doing one for now, and I'm leaving the others kind of stock, and we'll see how long this lasts. And I really like it though. Check out the footage, and I'll put up, yeah, very good. I get so excited.
Okay, guys. So, this is the Beta FPV 450 battery, and out of all the Beta FPV batteries to date, this is my favorite one to fly, kind of like for freestyle outside. And then the 300s I try to use for races, even though they don't really last the longest. You usually do get a couple minutes out of them. I feel like I had a good flight here. So later on, when I talk to you about how it feels, I just kind of flew these 4 packs. And then, actually, this is something interesting. So when I flew that lamp, I did all these modifications that made it lighter, and I do feel like it flies a lot better. But when I try doing slow, smooth, like going through little gaps, it is a little trickier. I think it's because of the bi-blades. So with tri-blades, it'd be a bit smoother because the tri-blades can manage the extra weight of the HDZero easily. Although this build is 29 grams. Yeah, this build's 29 grams without the battery. But it's weird because I have a harder time to go up and over that light with this build than with the stock 75. But then the stock 75 also, like, it just kills the battery faster and it doesn't flip as nice. Mind you, this has the 1610 bi-blades on it, and I like the way they feel more. I guess because, I don't know, I just like how they feel more. But I am having to fly around at like 30%, 40% type of throttle, versus with the other one I'm probably flying around at like 20 to 30% throttle. I've been really happy with the canopy. I've smashed this thing around a lot, and it seems to take a beating, and this 75 millimeter Meteor frame is excellent. I think that the black frames are actually stronger than the other colors. It's interesting too because I've noticed, like with Happy Model, there's a specific the Mobula. It's like the Mobula 7 frame. There's a V2 and it's the lightest, but then the clear one is lighter than the black one. So it's the lightest. It's almost, I think it's like half a gram lighter. But then, yeah, I think I've noticed that the black frames, regardless of where you get them, like the Happy Model black frames, the Beta FPV black frames, seem to be stronger than the colored ones, which stinks because it's like I really like Beta FPV's colored frames, but if I have to choose between a colored frame that cracks and a black frame that doesn't crack, I'd rather take the black frame. I don't know why that is. Maybe they're using some different sort of material that they're dyeing, versus with the black one, they're just getting it, I don't know, pure material, better material that isn't dyeable but is maybe a bit stronger. Something like that. Let me know if you have any thoughts on that. 4.3 minutes armed, but that's not counting, I guess, crash time. Now on This Is the Lava, it didn't feel as good to me as the other one did, but maybe that's just because I crashed right away. So it said that I got like an extra 30 seconds of flight time out of this one, but I don't know. Maybe it was just my fault as a pilot. I wasn't flying as well, but it felt like it was like heavier, even though it's not. And, hello? It's nighttime and I should be sleeping. But I'm making this video instead. Well, I'll talk to you about some other things. So, what else is new? Oh, there's a bloody 3D printer in the background. That's going to be in this video. Let's turn that off. Okay, so recently, like, this was a while ago. I didn't post this video like for a while, but what has happened? So today, so the way, if you look at the VTX display, the letters are not like, at the bottom or centered or at the corners like I'd have them, because Betaflight 4.3 doesn't really do that nice until you get to 4.4. So Betaflight 4.4 lets you adjust your HDZero display OSD, and you can move things around nicely everywhere. So I did that today, like Matthew from the future. I did that, and 4.4 I think flies a little nicer. Like, I feel like it felt a bit smoother, and you're able to move the display nicely. So instead of naming my quads, I just put I love you, because I think everyone needs to hear that once in a while, at least from somebody. So if no one tells you they love you, I love you. In the creepiest of ways. Yeah, so yeah, I think that when you start off flying, you care a lot more about flight time and you want to be able to fly as long as you can. But, well, depending what your priorities are, if you want to, do cinema and stuff, you want a battery maybe that lasts as long as possible that you can fly smooth with. And if you, I don't know, just the experience, maybe, like, I don't know, everyone gets like these 3 inches or the 3.5s and puts 850s or 900s on them, like the Baby Hawk. And I did that too. I got my Baby Hawk and I stuck my 850 on it. But now I'm constantly getting a lighter battery and a lighter battery because I feel like I can control the drone more and get more out of it at a lighter weight. Maybe a bit less, like the high end versus the low end, right? It's just it's something that's totally different, and they're totally different styles. Like most people that have done freestyle for a long time are flying the big heavy drones, so they're used to being able to throw that around. But I kind of like lighter, especially well, I guess indoor, the lighter it is, the easier it is to control too. So the way that a 300 flies is way better than the way a 450 flies. And then when you're outside with the 450, now we're flying the 300 beta FPV drone battery lipo, and it's just so much easier to just fly around and flick it around and feel lighter, and you just feel like you have a bit more control, a bit more connected, because you're not having this weight always bobbing you around. But then when you're outside, the 450 feels fine because you can kind of use the weight to have a little bit of momentum, which helps you in tricks. Because with drones, there's always there's like a movement that they create that you can follow, like the flow. Kind of like, I don't know, when you put something in a bag and you spin it, if you spin it fast enough, you can feel the weight kind of fighting with you, which allows you to make like a perfect circle. And then if you don't go fast enough, when you try spinning the bag, whatever's in the bag will try to fall out of it because it's not spinning fast enough. So the same thing happens with FPV drones. If you have your momentum going, it's a lot easier to keep that momentum and to continue like doing a little flip or doing a little trick, and over time you'll get more connected to your drone. It's almost like the drone tells you what to do. Final flight here with the Lava 300. I never really cared about weight until I started watching Shutterbug, and Shutterbug kept like obsessing over making the drone lighter because it would fly better. And I never really understood that until I started, getting better at rebuilding, taking things apart, and getting rid of weight as much as I could. But I wouldn't get rid of weight to the point that it makes the drone weak. You don't want the drone to be weak. You want to make it as light as possible while maintaining the strength however you can. So if that means using a canopy that is so light that when you crash, the camera gets smashed into the FC, then that's not something I want. And that's basically like Shutterbug's canopy for the HDZero. So this canopy that I designed is pretty interesting because people look at it and are like, there's no protection. But it's actually much more protecting than the ones like I mentioned. It has the camera in the air, so you have no props in view. It's at a 30-degree angle, and there's like a cross underneath it of TPU. So when the camera hits, because it's kind of in the air on TPU, the mount gives. So you could have it all protected but super stiff, and the stiffness means that the impact is going to be taken by the drone and the camera. So if you hit something hard enough, it's going to smash. But the way that this is, because the camera is like almost like a fin inside TPU, and the mount only weighs like a gram anyways, but it holds the antenna in place, it holds the camera up, and when it smacks into something, it wiggles. The camera seems to be like left unfazed. So I think it's really good for indoor, at least. You know, if you're going to be smashing it around on concrete, that's a different story, but I'm planning to stick to more indoor flying with the whoops and gorilla whooping. Outside, it's fun that you have it and you can just be like, I'm going to go dive a building and see what the capabilities are. There's no way that I really want to like rip this around outside. And when it's cold, you just wreck the batteries. It makes the frame, like when you're into cold and the frame gets cold, it weakens the frame and the frame will crack. So I hate spending money on whoops. I don't know why. It's like I'd rather spend the money building a 3.5 inch and having something strong that I can... When I go outside, I want my discus. It makes me happy and it's powerful. And I can like rip it like crazy for like 5 minutes, or I can rip it gently for almost 10, depending on the build. On my more powerful build, it's kind of like 7 minutes of ripping, but these just don't compare. So yeah, those are my flight thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my vlog.
I added some little foam right here because the camera can smack there. That seemed to be the biggest problem. So I'm probably going to redesign this canopy and just add a little bit of material. I'm doing my after because I didn't do my after. Okay. I didn't feel like the Lava 450, like it kind of felt heavier. Let's just see if it's heavier. Or if I'm crazy. Okay, so the scale says that the Beta FPV 450 is 1269 and this one is 1250, so it's actually lighter. So maybe I just got a bad battery, but I felt like the flight time on this was, it felt almost the same as this. This didn't feel that much better. But when it came to the 300, when I compared this 300 to the Lava 300, it got like almost a full minute of flight time on this. And flying the 300s is what felt the best because with the HDZero system, it's already heavier. So I think that I can get through a race on these Lava 300s, and I don't think I'd be able to on these ones. So I'm thinking that this is a really nice budget option instead of having to buy the Tattoo 300s that everyone buys. But I might get those to test against these. But I'm really happy with this battery. And just a little trick, with the Pro 75 frames and with these 75 millimeter frames, I like that they're really tight and low. And what Beta FPV does better than Happy Model is their frames are stiffer, and this part in here is stronger so it doesn't just break. If you take shrink wrap, you can put it on your battery and it'll make the 300 just the right size to fit inside there nice and snug, and it won't go anywhere. So that's nice. I also like to kind of, instead of having it mounted this way, I mount it the other way. But if you want to kind of see how I went from this to this, I have a whole live stream video of that, and I'll link that to this. If you want to pick up some HDZero 75s or some Lava batteries, I'd say the 300s, try a pack of those. I'll have those linked below, affiliate links, so if you use them, it'll help me get a couple bucks maybe. And Oh yeah, if you want to be able to try my prints, they're all part of my Patreon. So if you join my Patreon, it's only $5, and that helps support me. And then once a month, you can ask me, hey Matt, send me some of these prints for my designs, and then I will ship them to you, and you just pay the shipping for them. And that's a nice way to kind of support me and say, hey Matt, I like what you're doing, and here's $5, smoochy smoochy. Okay, thank you, and help my wife see that this can actually be doable, right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because Mama doesn't believe in this. She's like, why do you play with all those stupid drones?
Yeah, I don't see no $1,000 check.
Yeah, no money. We need to make $1,000. Do you see that?
At least minimum.
Okay, so if how many people? If 100,
That's
50,
not even a lot.
if 100 people join my Patreon, it'd be 5 times 100. That'd be 500. We need 200 people to join the Patreon to prove to my wife that this is doable. So get on it. Okay, thanks for checking out the stuff. Thank you to all the new people. We keep growing, and it's great. And thanks to everyone that comes and says hello on the stream. Okay? Yeah.